there's stuff we can clean up, for sure. But there's a multitude of things. It's easy to point fingers one way or another, but what I challenge the team, is to do exactly as I'm going to do, which is you're just accountable and look at everything you can do better. It's not to our standard. It's extremely disappointing. Credit does go to the Chargers. They executed a great game plan and really out-physicaled us, I thought. And so but it's, football's a humbling game. And that, these are the things that you have to learn as a team. Unfortunately, we had to learn it the hard way. So that's not, for what we want to do with this team, that's not going to get us there. I need a better performance, and it needs to start. It will start with me, because that's not. Bottom line is we have a fully committed team, and we haven't, like you said, really executed to our standard the last couple of weeks, and nowhere else to look but myself.
Have teams started defending your offense differently?
I think that's always the case. During the course of the season, things evolve, and I think that was happening that's been happening all season. Each and every week, there's kind of a different way a team chooses to attack you, and so it did evolve to a degree, but I think it was more about their plan was better than ours, and they outplayed us in that phase.
How would you assess the way Tua played specifically?
I thought he did some good things. There's some stuff that I think he would think he'd want to have back, but really I was just kind of disappointed in the connection between him and some of the eligibles. All the incompletions were definitely not on Tua. There was some, when you miss opportunities, I think we had something we work on all week and we've been working on all season. A throw to Tyreek that I'll check it out on the film, but between Tyreek not being able to pick it up and Tua's throw, bottom line is, who cares whose fault it is? That needs to happen. I know Tua will expect that from himself, but I thought overall, with the way everyone was playing, for us to win the game, he'd probably have to do something great. I thought at moments he did do some stuff. He competed and gave us a chance to win, but collectively, quarterbacks are only as good as the offense, and together we just weren't good enough.
Mike, have you ever seen anything like that 57-yard fumble that Tyreek was able to take in the end zone?
Yeah, I feel like there's I think from historical tape, I don't think in a game, I couldn't really find the ball at all. So that was unique. That it was a scrum, and then somebody outside of the scrum had the ball and was running with it. But those type of things happen when you're hustling to block, and when you're hustling and straining as offensive linemen. Sometimes when the ball does come out, you can find yourself in a fortunate situation. So that was a big play that I was hoping would get us out of our funk, and it didn't really do that as much as I had hoped.
I know it's just several minutes after the game is finished, but you spoke about the game plan, the Chargers game plan being better on defense. In the aftermath, what adjustments do you think you could have made to get the offense kind of rolling when the middle of the field wasn't open?
I think that's the way I look at it as a coach is the way that I look at it as a coach is it's a bottom line business, and things have to work, and so sometimes you'll call plays and there'll still be open people, but if we're not executing it, then I need to have plays that guys will execute. I'll comb the tape and attack it, with the next opportunity that we have with the Buffalo Bills on Saturday night. So no one's in the business for feeling sorry for us. No one should. We have tremendous opportunities moving forward to play to our standard, and if our team wants to play together longer, then they're going to have to adjust that standard as it is present and continue to improve.
Mike, Tua had a month there where he seemed like he couldn't miss, and now today he was 10 for 28 passing, and he didn't have a great game in San Francisco. What do you just ascribe it to? Are they doing something defensively? Is it him? What's the?
Again, I think football's a humbling game, and people adjust to certain things and present different issues, and I think there are probably a handful of those plays that will look at the tape and be like, man, you really can make this play here or there. And then I think there's going to be a handful of plays that we're going to say that some of our eligibles weren't doing the job, and I think there will be a handful of plays that it's hard to expect the quarterback to make a play when the protection's off. So collectively, I think that we just aren't playing together as an offense in the way that I'd like, and I think you want to continue to progress and be your best in December and January, and we've had a lot of reps at certain things, and we should be better right now in this last 2-game stretch. But again, it's a really cool time, realistically, for a young team to see what we're all about, so to speak, just because it's hard when you invest a ton and then you fall short. And this one, I think, after last week, I don't think guys were prepared for this outcome, and so we'll learn a lot about people, and this is the nature of the beast. You don't, besides one team, you don't go through seasons without losing games, and you want to win them all, but the biggest thing is we have to learn from it. We can't just push it aside and say it was this, that, the other. You get a bunch of people, like-minded people, holding themselves accountable and stepping up their game. Then we got a chance to take these feelings of these past 2 weeks and make them purposeful.
Mike, is there any, escalated concern when struggles like this happen at this point in the season, like in December and January?
I wouldn't say that, because the bottom line is I think you don't like that type of output at any point. If you have been, if you're a team that's all of a sudden trying to turn up, and this happens, it would worry me more. I think we've really approached each and every week with diligence, and I think this is like any other situation where, at one point we had 3 losses in a row, and so we had to end the streak at some point. I think the same thing happens now. I've been part of teams, 2 specific, 2 teams specifically that ended up playing in the Super Bowl that had a loss pretty similar to the one that we had tonight, where you have high expectations and you really take a punch to the gut. And then I've been on teams where, it's snowballed even further. So I think relative to where the year's at, I think you always want to continue to progress as long as we learn from all of it and start playing better football, you know, I don't really care what it is, it's going to hurt. I think our guys' expectations for what they feel they should be, this was probably the furthest miss that we've had all year. So that you really, really can't hide in these situations. You find out who you're working with and who you're dealing with. I know what they'll find out from me, and I'm excited to see what they find out from me.
Mike, we didn't see Tyreek in there in portions of toward the end of the game, and obviously Jeff Wilson got hurt. With the short turnaround to the Buffalo game, how much of a concern were those injuries?
Well, I mean, I think they're a legitimate concern. You know, we have obstacles of, you know, flying back across the country on a short week, so we have to rest. So regardless if guys were injured or not, I think I'll have to tone it down a little bit so that we can reacclimate to the East Coast. But as far as I know, nothing has been significantly ruled out for next week with regard to those two players, and you know.